y'all, let's talk about dock work. So I know a lot of you guys that want to come to LTL, you have that question is, will I have to work the dock? Is it required? Is it mandatory? So let's talk about it. But before we jump any further, since I'm going to mention my company, let's state out the obvious. I'm not a spokesperson for AAA Cooper. I'm just a Linehaul driver stating my views and personal opinions. So now that we got that away, let's talk about this dock work. So of course, you're going to be on a forklift and you're going to be stripping or loading freight. Now, it's just going to depend on the company you go to. Some LTL companies, they might require P&D guys to work the dock before they go or after they work. Linehaul, same thing. It just depends on the company. If you come to AAA Cooper, more than likely, and this is for the Linehaul, if you're a Linehaul at AAA, more than likely you're going to have to work the dock. And it just depends on where you are in seniority. Like for at our terminal, we have a few guys that don't have to work the dock. They're not required to. They can work it if they choose to. We have, I think, 6 or 7 guys that have that status, and out of all of them, only, I think, 2 of them work it every night, consistent. Now, I do a long pull, which is basically extra board, you guys might call it. So I'm technically not required to work at my terminal. It's only as needed, which it says, on the bid sheet, as needed. But of course, I'm needed. So I work it anywhere from 2 to 3.5 hours. I come in at 7 o'clock every night. I could be on the dock for, like I said, 2 to 3.5 hours. I do my run. Now, as far as how many hours everybody else works it, it just depends on when your cut time is. So you're basically just working it until your cut time. Now, if you're topped out in pay, we just got our raise, I think on the 7th. So if you're topped out, it's like 30 something an hour, which is not bad, because if you go to like a regular warehouse job, I guarantee you they're not going to pay you 30 plus an hour to sit on a forklift. I guarantee you they're not, unless you're like a supervisor or something. So I mean, it's really not that bad. Now, as far as do we work the dock once we leave and go to another terminal, it just depends. Now, at my terminal, and I'm only speaking for the terminal I run out of, we have 2 runs, I guess you could call them hub runs, where they leave the terminal, go to another terminal, and then they'll work the dock for a couple hours and then they'll come back. We have 2 runs like that. Now, one of them, they're just gonna pretty much load their trailer. Basically, other guys, they'll put it, by their area, by the door that he loads it on. He'll just load it and then basically he's good to go. Now, the other hub run, you're basically just gonna do whatever they need you to do. That particular terminal, they're gonna keep you there sometimes 4 hours, 4.5, and you're basically gonna strip everything. You could be stripping inbound freight, outbound freight. That's also, that particular terminal, it's a bulk break terminal. I'll talk about what that is for another video. But yeah, all our other runs, a lot of them are meet and turn. So, you do your meet and turn, or some of them go to other terminals, but they're not required to work the dock. Like some terminal I go to, I'm not required. So if I go to a terminal, let's just say I go to a terminal and it's not ready, if I want to sit in that truck and wait, I could do that. But a lot of times, sometimes I'll give them a hand. I'll jump on a lift. That way I can get out faster and get home faster. So sometimes I'll help out. But again, I have that option not to, since I'm not required to for that particular run. Now, like I said, when you do your bid runs, it's going to tell you, if you're required to work it or not. Now, as far as city guys, our city guys, a lot of times they work it in the morning. I don't think they're required to. I think some of them do it by choice, just to make some extra money. But like when they get back, they don't work the dock. They just pull to their assigned door, take their pallet jack, and they're good to go. Now, basically, if I didn't already say in the beginning, we're unloading all the freight that the city guys bring in, and then we load it on either vans or pups, mainly pups. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, sometimes it gets annoying. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It gets annoying. Sometimes it does, especially when somebody brings back freight that's tipped over. And it does happen, especially like with the Home Depot returns. A lot of times, some of that stuff comes back tipped over, or sometimes if it doesn't have a pro number, which is basically the bill number, sometimes you gotta go in the office and get that. But like I said, it's a few cons to the dock. But like I said, they're compensating us well for it, so I can tolerate it. Now, as far as the inbound. Now, inbound, we have actual dock workers that work inbound. They're basically stripping all the freight that Linehaul brings. Basically, all the stuff I'm bringing back and all the other guys bring back. They're gonna strip that. Now, there's been times, when I first got hired on, sometimes if they didn't have any freight for me to run, or if a run got canceled, they might keep me on the dock all night, which means I'll be working on the inbound, which not a fan of. I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but I'm not a fan of it. But again, they're still gonna compensate you well for doing it. So don't let sitting on a forklift for a few hours, prevent you from working at a company where you can potentially make six figures. And I always say potentially, because I don't want you guys to think that you're gonna come to LTL and just make 100,000 off the rip. That's why I say it's possible. You can make it, it can be done. So I will catch you guys in the next video. Y'all take it easy, stay safe.